Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Welcome, everyone. It is week 10 of the SEC season. It is season 3, episode 15 of the Weekly Joe podcast. I'm your host, Paul Graham. Tonight, got the whole crew tonight. Everybody's back. Lot going on last week. We spent a lot of time recording. We didn't have the whole gang together, but we've got Drew Champlin. We've got Roger Myers. We've got Meghan Dennis, fresh off a game, seeing the Shots play last night and big graduation weekend. Griffin, who is done with lacrosse, I think. The season's over finally, and then ready to get focused on the baseball postseason and a pending move as well. So a lot going on with the group here. We had a couple of great shows last week. We had of course, our moms with our Mother's Day extravaganza, which we'll definitely do again. They were great. Real good feedback we got from that show. And then our right field Rager crew that back again this year. They're going to be certainly stirring it up this weekend in right field, getting us ready for the final weekend of the SEC season. Can you believe it's here already, Griff?
Season always goes by quick, and when we keep winning, even it may not be the prettiest of sweeps. I mean, it just seems to go by. I mean, feels like not that long ago we were talking about, we've got 5 more home series, and all of a sudden we're here.
Hey, Roger, it's been an Avery Johnson type season. It's a tale. It's been a tale of about 3 seasons and 3 or 4 seasons, right? Just up and downs.
Sure has, yes. Start opening day, lose, and then you go win how many ever in a row, and then win the Frisco Classic, but lose the last game.
Yeah.
And start off 0-3 in SEC, then sweep 2 in a row, and win the Oklahoma series, then get swept again. It's just a huge roller coaster ride.
Yeah, Meghan peaking at the right time. This team, the team, like Roger said, kind of microcosm of the year of the season might have been that Frisco Classic. You won it. You brought home the trophy. You look terrible the final game of the year. It feels like they're always leaving you wanting or needing a little more. But does it feel like, mind you, the competition the last 2 weekends might have not been what the peak of the season? Is this team peaking at the right time?
I feel like that's still hard to say. I think I voiced it well how frustrated this team has made me throughout this whole season. And I think we've had so many flashes that I hope it's to say that we're peaking at the right time. I mean, everything both analytically and what all the polls are saying, and we're gonna get into that, seem to be pointing that way. I hate to say that though, after 13 weeks of this, I'm still kind of waiting for the other shoe to still drop in some sense too, though.
Right. Drew, earlier in the year, after the Kentucky series, we had a conversation here thinking, I think the team I thought we were going to compare to was, I guess it must have been, I think it was 2022 is the one I was thinking, is that team that went 12-17 in the SEC, did not make the regional, but lost a lot of close games. It felt like kind of that team to start with. Compare this team to one in recent memory now that you've got the benefit of 27 SEC games on your belt. Who's it feel like now? Because I think some of us were feeling it might be like one of those first Bohannon teams that was trying to rebuild a roster.
Yeah. I think I'd compared it to the 2004 team that went 10-20, had 3. Actually, what we have 6 quality pitchers we can count on. I think that's what we had back then. Didn't score very many runs. But as far as recent memories, you kind of look at even the 23 team after right before Bohannon got fired, we were 9-12 in the SEC. ended up going 7-9. We don't have a
Yeah,
Pinckney. We don't have
72.
a yeah. We don't have a lot of boppers like Shelton and Pinckney, but finding ways to win games at the end of the year. Not looking pretty. You think about this team can't pitch. I mean, excuse me, can't hit, can't field. We have a lot of catastrophic base running errors around third base. We've pitched really well, and we got a chance to be a national seed. So they
Yeah,
just find ways to
yeah.
they find
Uh-huh.
ways to finish off games.
Yeah, yeah. Roger, you were in Columbia this weekend, or Megan, you were actually there for two of the games, so we'll get your insight as well. Um, First of all, we talked a little bit about it, just how, I mean, it's kind of much as we always, make fun of not giving a damn about the rest of the SEC. A little depressing to see South Carolina baseball, once a very proud tradition and a, two-time national champ, not 15-ish years ago, 20 years ago, in that state and that atmosphere at that ballpark
Yeah, it was awful. Megan and I were talking about it. It was like a fall scrimmage
environment. Yeah, yeah.
environment. I mean, it was
Hmm.
so dead, and particularly on Sunday, it was hot and sunny. So
Hmm.
we weren't far from outnumbering them. I mean,
I mean,
with the
like,
parents and stuff, but I
Uh-huh.
mean, there were more of them. But all of our parents went up underneath under the shade. So other than Shakira and
Hmm.
Megan and I, and then Eric's parents, we were the only ones that were in our whole
Yeah,
section.
in your
So it
say.
really did feel like one of the scrimmages, and just no noise.
No,
I
yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
Like
just
a COVID game or something. They're just like
Yeah,
really
right.
quiet. It sounded that way in the
well,
broadcast. And to Paul's point, it's such a great ballpark, but they've fallen on hard times.
it's
well, the
it's
amount of like workers who are just like, please just beat us in seven. Like, just get it
Yeah.
over with at this point. That like Friday, but then even more so on Sunday, like multiple people there just being like, we got today, we got Tuesday, and then we can
Mhm.
just call the season. Like
Yeah,
they're
Mm.
very checked out for a team that 15 years ago won back-to-back national championships.
yeah.
So
A little bit like the Cleveland Indians in the major league, and until the season turned around, maybe that kind of early part of the season,
yeah,
just
yeah.
nobody up there necessarily sabotaging them like their owner was, but it kind of felt like that. But we'll say they gave a pretty spirited effort, I thought, over the weekend, and
They did. It looked like they were about to be buried and maybe give up, and then we'd do something to help them out, and, and they would take advantage of it. But just for what we had to deal with and being
uh,
on the road, even with a bad team, it's just says a lot about this team's resilience to
yes,
to win those. I mean, it's just they Al Davis it. They just win, baby. I mean,
uh,
it's not pretty. It's not. The stat bros would hate this team. You look at the
uh,
the batting average, the slugging average, on base percentage, the
yeah.
fielding percentage. I
I could
mean,
go to that in detail here in a minute. Yeah,
yeah.
dude,
I mean,
really
it's
kind
just like, but you know, you are what your record says. I think we've said a
of.
few times.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there you
But
go.
27 games in that SEC season, you're pretty much are who you are. Drew, the Roger mentioned the word resilience. We use it a lot. You go into this weekend, and we'll get into these games a little more. You basically your one hole hitter and your two hole hitter. Conceivably your biggest pro prospect and probably your best player this year, both get knocked out in early, well, one in the late stages of the first game, one in the early stages of the second game. We kid about it. We kind of call it 200 roulette, right? Or we call it Mendoza line roulette when you got so many guys hitting in the 180 to 200 to 220 range in SEC play. And you're scrambling on a weekend like this, and you just coaches got to they've got to pick a lineup and just hope it hits right.
Mhm.
And right, Drew, we talked about that a little bit. I mean, how do you think they handled that this weekend with some of the guys they put in that really responded and played well?
Yeah, really about as well as they could have happened. We lose LeBron at the end of game one. We lose Brady uh, really early game two. So we don't
Mm-hmm.
have those two guys for the last 18 innings or whatever it was. So while we would love to have just put them away in seven in game three, it was probably not looking realistic, with the lineup we
Mm-hmm.
had out there. But you look at it, when you say this team can't hit, well, we get some 3-run home runs here and there, and we got
Mm-hmm.
two of those big ones on Saturday to turn the game around. So we've been getting a few of those lately. Some kind of finding ways to get guys in. We should get more, but we do have base running errors still. But yeah, it's just we're not getting everybody home that you would like to get home. Still innings that we just kind of foul up a bit, but getting enough of them home. Now, was it great? It was good. We played South Carolina this weekend. We played many other teams. Same injury luck. Maybe it doesn't go your way, but I feel like these guys did a great job of getting it done despite challenging circumstances.
Yep, Roger. It felt a little bit like the old Earl Weaver adage: pitching, defense, and 3-run homers. We didn't really play the defense, but we got the pitching and the 3-run homers.
Right. Yeah. I've thought about Weaver a lot in a lot of these situations. I was just counting up. We left 20 on base in 3 games,
20,
which is kind of low for us. And 8. I know you're gonna probably get into this. 14, 18 strikeouts in 3 games.
Which
so one of the
Max from damn near 50 that weekend.
Right. Max or one of the boys the other day said, less than, what did he say, 38 or 35 strikeouts.
35.
Yeah.
So that
good call from him.
Good, yeah, nice call there. So
right. And the pitch. I mean, again, we go back to pitching. It's the reason this team is where it is because those 3 guys that go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and really the 3 guys that kind of go behind them. I mean, it's really been 3. But we got a little more from Sam and some other guys this weekend. But it's probably 6 arms that are carrying this team at this point.
Yeah.
True. Yes.
And
20 starters are 21-9. In the all-important win category.
That's right.
Pitcher win category. But I mean, I think the Cannell kid did a tweet about all the numbers of the matchups and just looking at those, like innings pitched, the strikeouts, the batting averages against, and it's just incredible. And they've gone in the same spot every
weekend. Yeah, you look at the pitching matchups this weekend. So there's 48 slots, right? You had 16 teams playing 3 games. There's I think I looked and there are 13, 12, 13. I mean, a quarter of the slots are to be announced. It's just teams scrambling to find pitchers. Arkansas's got, Deets going out there and then 2 TBAs. I mean, and that's a team that's sitting right there with us and right there with us or behind us in the standings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, even the good teams are struggling to get consistency from a pitching staff. So I think from our standpoint, having what we've had, although you're not going into a great deal of depth as you get into that bullpen, is really driving you to this kind of late season.
But Paul, we don't have a 4th and 5th starter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever, that was one of those situations. This tweet we were responding to. I think I felt dumber every time I read that.
Used to be Jeff is the Twitter handle.
Maybe a great guy. I had no idea, but I mean, it's like he was just dumb wrong on this that we haven't developed a 4th and 5th starter. Which I mean, what are they going to do? Pitch Monday? Are they going to stay? They going to stay in Columbia and simulate a game Monday? What the hell do I need a 4th starter for?
I really do think that with no more midweeks, I think JT is going to be would join those other 3 as our 4th. As our 4th kind of main guy, and that gives you a lot more options. And just hate to harp on it, but losing Humphrey was just just brutal. I mean, with T on top of those. The other 3 that we're using so much now, we would have had, it would have been a lot better setup and a lot less trying to fit this guy in there for a batter or 2 batters or 2/3 of an inning or something. So but you gotta play with what the hand you're dealt. So
that's right. That's it. All right, let's talk. Let's get real macro and then we'll get real micro. So the team's sitting now 3 games ago in the regular season. Sitting at 35-17, so that 40 win mark is still within reach, and which would be, again, remarkable. We did it last year. Second year in a row, Coach Vaughn would have done that. 16-11 in the SEC. We're sitting in the this polls that come out, or a half a dozen of those come out. We're 15-20 in most of those, right? I don't know where the highest I saw us this week. Maybe around 14, 15, but in that mid range. What was the highest?
I think 14.
14. Okay,
Perfect game, I think.
Yeah.
And we were talking a little bit before. We're sitting at RPI of 6. One of those simulations has us right neck and neck with Florida State, North Carolina, kind of right around us. So good position. Okay, let's. Here's a key that that I found, or that I think we are 10-2 in one-run games. 10-2 overall, 10-2 in one-run games. 5-1 in SEC games. So you think about 16-11 record, and you're 5-1. I mean, if you were 3-3 in one-run games, you'd be 14-13. You'd be sitting where Ole Miss is going into this weekend, or you go 2-4, and you're all of a sudden you're scrambling. You're on the verge of getting in.
Tennessee, yeah, you're on the backside,
right? Here's what we've done in some previous years, and kind of by comparisons. Last year, and I did this scrolling down the sheets. I wasn't, this wasn't compiled very well. Maybe it might not be exactly right. Last year we go 5-4, so we played about the same. We've played 12 this year. We 5-4 last year. Again, similar record now, but we got a chance to be much better than that. 24, we were 10-6. A lot of one-run games at 24 in Rob's first year. But we went 13-17 in the SEC. We lost, went 2-out in the regional. 23, the last time we hosted a regional, we won a regional, went to a super. We went 4-6. I thought we were better than that year, but we were only 4-6 that year. The year I remembered pretty vividly was that 2022 year, and this is what I was talking about. That team played 19 one-run games and went 7-12. So you talk about some team, and listen to how comparable that team hit 256 as a team. We're hitting 245 this SEC play. They allowed about a 281 average. We're allowed about a 245 average. It's a kind of similar team if you look at the numbers. Just that difference in performance in one-run games to me made a huge difference. Here's some of where we sit relative to the rest of the conference. We're hitting 245. That's 14th. That's the two behind us.
Missouri and South Carolina.
Right. That's going to be a recurring theme here on the offensive stats. We're slugging 407. We're 14th behind, or only ahead of, OPS. We're 758. 14th in the conference. I didn't write down who was top. I mean, there you go. Those are kind of your, rudimentary, elementary level offensive statistics, and you're sitting 14th, but you're top 4 in the conference right now. We led in one offensive category. Can you guess it?
Stolen bases.
Nope.
Double.
Sack bunts.
Somebody said double. Keep going.
Triples.
Double plays. We've hit the 19 double plays.
I think that's the opposite of leading.
We're tied with Mississippi State. We've hit a 19 double plays.
That's for the most, or that's for the most.
Yeah, the most. Yeah. So so again, throw out the offense. Pitching. This is where it's at. We're ERA is sitting at 4.47. WHIP is 1.34. We're 4th in both those categories. I think the best is Auburn, Texas, Florida. Imagine Florida's pitching better than anyone right now. Texas pitched better than everyone all year. Auburn probably is, Auburn's probably shown the most depth and versatility of their pitching staff. And so those three are sitting at the best, but we're right on their heels. We're tied for 3rd in hits. We're going up 215. We're tied with Auburn at 215. We're 3rd in earned runs. We get up 116. We only get up 28 home runs. It's 3rd fewest in the conference. And then of course defensively we're 968 fielding in the conference, which is good for a tie for 13 with 3 other teams. I think we're either worst or next to worst when you look at overall. So again, normally you get pitching and defense kind of in tandem. We're getting great pitching, we're getting terrible defense, and we're getting it's so on the hitting side. Our conference average, I mentioned 245 in the conference. It's about what we've allowed from a pitching standpoint as well. All right, so let's break down this offense, and this is kind of where this last weekend gets a little more remarkable, or the Vandy weekend. We've got 11 guys on our roster, 45 at bats or more in the SEC. You can probably figure out who they are. Only 4 are hitting over 250. All right.
This was SEC numbers, right?
SEC numbers. Yep. Only 4 hitting over 350, 250. Bryce Fowler at 345. Brady at 326. Big E 297, hitting 297 as a freshman. Can you guess the 4th?
Yes. Shoot.
It's probably not who you're thinking.
Peyton
Jason Tor-
Steele.
Peyton Steele.
It is Peyton Steele. It is. He's up to 256, which uh,
He had a
I,
good weekend. Yeah.
yeah, definitely had a good weekend last. And since he's kind of made his way back in the lineup, I think his surged a little bit. Then you go, the other nine, they're hitting anywhere from 235 down to 174 in the conference. So again, how are you 16-11? How are you 16-11 in the conference? Again, looking back at some of previous years, what's happened in these comparable teams. Last year, the team hit 240. So we're doing about what we did last year. But the pitching staff allowed a 291 average and had an ERA of 6. All right. Remember our ERA, we're 447 this year. So we're 1.5 better from an ERA standpoint from pitching staff than we were a year ago. Good hitting team in 24. Rob's first year, you hit 291, but your ERA was 682. You just didn't pitch. Your ERA was almost 7 in these are SEC numbers. And then 23, again, very similar. You hit 266. ERA was 462. Team went to a super regional. So it's almost like we found the formula. I didn't check defensive stats going back that far, but it feels like the formula at Alabama is hit adequately, but just pitch, and that's how you get there.
And normally we normally play a lot better defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're typically not the big basher team. We're not top 3, top 4 in home runs most years. And then going back to 22, that team hit 256. ERA was 550. So I think remarkable. Again, we know how good the pitching's been. We see it every weekend. We know how important it is for these guys to chew 6 innings on Friday night, Saturday night, set the bullpen up for your freshmen on Sunday, or set the bullpen up for your weekend. You got a freshman going on Sunday. But when you really look at it from a numbers standpoint, I think those that 447, that 134 really stand out as your reason that you're where you are. Thoughts on those numbers? Anything that just jumps out at you guys?
I mean, we've watched them play all these games. We kind of know. I mean, without like knowing the actual number, we know we kind of know where we stand. Like what's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The starters got to go minimum 6, and hold us in the game, and then let the other 3 dudes figure out how to finish 3 games off.
Yeah, Drew.
I think we've got to field well. And really the thing about defense is that while the numbers aren't good, when it comes to that, you're as good as the next at bat, next pitch
Yes,
is. So
exactly.
if you make those plays, and I don't know, I can think of like the Arkansas games series, we had some malfunctions defensively, but it seems like, and maybe stats prove me wrong, but it seems like we play a lot better defensively on grass. Well,
Oh, a lot better. Yeah.
we keep winning and we're maybe on grass all the way to Omaha or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
also,
Mhm.
one we had, I mentioned this earlier, but the 3-run home runs, those are so big. I mean, Hines 3-run homer against Vandy on that Friday, such a big hit. If that's a solo home run, we lose that game. LeBron had the 3-run home run to start the game
Yes.
Friday, and then JoJo and Lim with a 3-run home run. So make plays and get those 3-run home runs, and then those could mask the offensive woes otherwise.
Yeah. Roger.
I was thinking back on the defense, and it has been better, a lot less errors recently. We had 2 kind of almost costly ones there in the 9th the other day, but think of the 3 midweek games where we had 6, 6, and 5.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
You take, I mean, that's 17 out of your 69 or whatever, how many
Just
errors
count
we
those.
have.
Yeah.
And that puts you in the middle of the pack.
Yes.
And that's
Mhm.
just, it's like hitting's contagious and lack of fielding, I guess, is contagious.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, just one thing happens and it just snowballed.
Yeah. 72 errors. And so what you're 5, 5, and 6 is what, almost
16, so
a quarter of them in 3 games, essentially.
yeah.
At 72 errors overall in the season.
I was looking back at some of our defensive stats, and we'd mentioned obviously pitching. Some of the teams ahead of us, Florida, Auburn, Texas. We go 7-9 against those 3 teams. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I go back and I'm crunching the numbers, and in all, across those 9 games, we have almost an error a game. We've got, I think, 7 or 8 in all of those games, like in all 9 of those combined. So it's like we just, and those are all series that, we obviously didn't win the
Yes.
Texas series, but we have 2 sweeps out of those. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
clearly been the strong suit. I'm not surprised Eric Hines is hitting the ball the way that he is. I would have liked to seen it maybe a little bit earlier in the year, but um, like you mentioned, it's been a roller coaster,
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Megan, thoughts on this team statistically?
I mean, I don't know. I think all the key points have kind of been hit on that one. I think they are what they are, I think, to some regard, like after that, after everything has been like, I don't think we can really sit here and expect that, oh, we're gonna magically find somebody who's gonna take us all the way to Omaha just on their one bat. Like, we know
Right.
what we're gonna get. I don't see the numbers really changing one way or the other. I think to that point, I guess maybe to beat that dead horse, we've won more games than maybe like from an analytics standpoint we should have, but to that point our record speaks to itself and we've won the games, and at the end of the day that's what matters.
Yeah. And Drew, some of that goes back to these one-run games. We've won them. The pitching is. I mean, even
Mhm.
Sunday, that ended up being a one-run game, although it never should have ended up being a
Yeah,
one-run.
yeah,
But
no.
but when it got down to one run, we had enough to hold them off.
Yeah, Banks came in. He and Heiberger had both pitched a lot the day before. Banks got hit a bit. Of course, errors. The botch double play was a killer, but then again, that was two guys who had basically not played that position hardly any this year, with JoJo at
Yeah,
second and Holt at short, and then
sure.
what did we had another error? I think Holt bobbled one.
Holton
Bobble
helped that
one
one run.
to lead off the
Yeah,
night. Like,
yeah. So we had issues. Thankfully they went and got Hagen when they
Mhm.
did, because he just didn't look sharp. And
Yeah,
Heiberger comes in and he gives a strikeout and a weak grounder.
yeah,
Funny thing is, I was when I get nervous, and I'm watching the game on the stream, I'll just check the live stats because I know it's a pitch or two ahead. And
yeah.
so I knew the ground out of the third was coming and that we had ended it. But then I saw the way the
Saw
camera
the
had.
throw.
I thought Torres had airmailed him at first when I
it did
saw it
not
on
look, it
TV.
didn't look real comfortable.
But then Luke just caught it, just reached his arm up and probably
Fortunately, didn't
but
jump. If you
yeah,
jump, probably.
so yeah, just kind of got it done, got it done. So
Mhm.
wish we could have 10 run them, but that's not really how this team is built.
No, no.
We're built more to get 3 runs early, not score again until the seventh or the eighth, then hold on to win 5-3
Just
or
hold
something
on.
like that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
reminiscent of that Oklahoma game when we got out in the first inning and we get 3 runs early, and then we're like, "It's better just hold on for dear life if we can get out of here alive." I mean, and some of the, I mean, we go ahead and we get that win against Oklahoma to salvage. We take the series there, and then it's on the flip
Uh,
side, we kind of hold on. We're pitching well all day, and then Texas scores in the bottom of the ninth, and it's like, oh
mhm.
shit, we're gonna
Here we
drop the
go again.
series, and then it's a completely different story. So, yeah, we know who we are. We just
Mhm.
we're not. I shouldn't expect massive changes.
Yeah, yeah. We talked a little bit about the individual games over the weekend. You mentioned first of all, the Friday night. Actually, it was Thursday night, I guess, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We No, wait, we played. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday this past week. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah.
There
Half of
hadn't
it
been
being
many of those.
hard to remember. So we win night one or by 8-3 final. We eke out 9 hits. Vintage Tyler Fay. I mean, it was a kid about a road Fay once in a while. We kind of get normally it's in one of these places with a turf mound.
Yep.
But he was dialed in. He walks 2 guys. He strikes out 10. Only gives up 2 hits. Just yields 1 earned run. Just a vintage pitching performance. Drew looked to me a lot like the night of the no hitter, where he just seemed to have command of everything.
Yeah, didn't really let them get anything. What would he strike out? 10
10.
10.
strikeouts
Yep.
and
Yeah.
7 shutout innings, or was it one
No, he
run?
gave up 1 run in the fourth.
That's right. So that's right. It was whatever the three. So yeah, great job. You need him. He set the tone on very many of these Friday games. Like like we've hoped we would. So it's been a really remarkable story. A guy coming from being a walk on and wearing number 67 as a redshirt
Gray
freshman.
shirt,
Yeah.
actually gray shirt, essentially, right? Wasn't
Uh, so whenever I see about somebody wearing that high of a number and he doesn't play for Vanderbilt, I don't have high hopes for them. But man, yeah, then we saw
he?
him in that scrimmage against Florida State or whoever, throwing
Uh,
some gas, and then he's just developed. They found the right role for him, and it's been
mhm.
he's getting us six or so every time, just about. So
Yeah.
it's been fun watching his development.
Yep, seven chews up 7 innings that night. Always key. I mean, you got 27. He gets 7 of them right there. Good to see Sam Mitchell get out there. He wasn't as maybe sharp as you would like, but I mean, he had enough cushion. You got to get him. You got to get him. Some work in there and get some innings. Talk about the night Luke Vaughn had. Megan, you were there. Where, pretty good. Pretty good. A little bit like I call it the roulette. You got to pick. You got to play guys. I mean, you got to get enough of them in the lineup. And if a guy's hitting 200, it's good for him to get that 2 of 10 he's going to get on home runs on Friday night, right? Because he
Yeah.
sure they were big.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like it was nice to see, and I think it was a good way to get out of the gate and kind of we're as we always do, we pick somebody, throw it out there, and hope it's their night. And the
Uh,
button pushing ended up working out. 2 home runs. Really liked that corner they had right there. I mean, it was good.
yeah,
We'll take it.
yeah. Homered a solo shot at the top of the 7th. Then his other one was in the 8th. A little bit of insurance there. 2-run job or brought home,
Yes.
gave us a 7-1 lead. So great night for him. Not so much the rest of the weekend, but that was a if I remember right, I think we went 0 for 5 the next night, 0 for
Right.
but I
That's
mean,
Yeah.
kind of your
I
Luke
mean,
Vaughn weekend. He's going to probably go 2 for 13, but those 2 hits are either going to hit the fence or go over the fence.
exactly. Yeah. Big night for him. Big E, did a nice job. It seemed like getting a little more comfortable out there in left field. But it seemed a little better,
Yeah.
comfort level playing in the outfield. And again, the thing that really sucked was, LeBron gets hurt. LeBron hits the home run, squared up, a couple balls,
Couple
and
other balls. Yeah.
rolled up that ground ball, but man, then he gets kind of tagged in the head and then come back the rest of the weekend. So insert JoJo Williamson, who we've been waiting on all year. The got his own fan following on Twitter from one particular fan in particular. Drew, your thought on what we got out of JoJo?
Yeah, I told the story before the season that I was riding a plane back from Las Vegas and I set by former major leaguer Steve Woodard's son.
Mhm.
Randomly, we started chatting. He's from up that way, Hartsel, and said JoJo's the best hitter he had ever seen.
Uh,
So there's at least more than one guy who thinks
yeah,
that. But yeah, no, he's been hurt a lot. It was nice to see him
hand injury.
get a just a kind of a roller through the infield that first at bat, and then the big blast on Saturday. We're down 4-1 with
Mhm.
2 outs, and announcers we're watching have talked about how we had not squared up this guy at all, and
Mhm.
we had not until he did. So then next
Yeah.
thing you know, it's 4-1. So just a clutch hit, from a guy you wouldn't think would have the power like that. He's not very big, but really turned on that one.
Mhm. Yeah, we locked that game down, and so we get into Saturday in the afternoon. We win the next one 9-6, pound out 14 hits. Not really vintage Zane Adams. I think he was cruising along, and then the long ball bit him a little bit, but still, the most important thing. It's like I harp on it, I guess, and maybe y'all feel the same way. Just to eat up innings, and especially with this
Yeah.
staff, and you just don't have. You can't afford to go out there and get knocked
Fully,
out
yeah.
third, right?
Well, yeah. My feeling on that was he should have been out of the second inning, 1, 2, 3.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then if
Mhm.
not, he should have had 4 unearned runs. Somehow or another, they gave the guy a hit on a drop fly ball. They gave him a
Right.
double. And then the next 2 guys fly out, then a walk, then the home run and another walk and another
I
hit.
thought the guy should have been rung up before the home run. The
Well,
guy
Oh,
that
that
that too.
too.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
did. I
frustrating.
got that written down too.
Mm.
He definitely should have the guy that walked. But I mean, the ball was drifting back toward the wall, but he got there and got set and
Just hit
just
the
hit off
glove.
his glove.
Yeah.
And And then their scorers, they were real homers because they did it the opposite way. Like, don't give Bryce they don't give Bryce a hit on the ball that he shoots past the first baseman
Uh,
that robbed us all weekend
yeah.
over and over and over. So anyway,
Of course. Peyton Steele was who just gloved that hit, right? But Peyton ends up going 5 for 9 at the plate on the weekend.
yes, he did.
Big,
And
big,
and he made a throw to the plate that held them with the
yeah.
bases loaded.
Yeah, that I
They
really
knew
thought.
they knew not to run on him. He
Yeah.
threw a seed to the plate. I wish they had run because they would have been dead.
No,
meat.
dead to rights. Griff, on this particular day, this is Brady Neal takes bats in the first inning. I think the bottom half, maybe the first batter, the second batter, takes the foul ball off the face. We've seen that twice now, him and an umpire. Doesn't return for the weekend. Enter Will Plattner, who then proceeds to go 3 for 4 and drive in 2 runs. So kind of that same deal. It's you hear the cliche or the adage about next man up. I mean, it was next man up in a lot of spots this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see the captain come in there and get a homer feels like he's just needing to all season. He's kind of had just something that needs to shake off. So for him to come out and have a big hit like that, it meant a lot to the lineup because we definitely needed some juice. I mean, I know Peyton played well this weekend. Eric obviously played well this weekend at the plate as well, but it was good to see him finally get that hit. That he's probably been dying to get. So
yeah. He homers. John Lim hits one off the building in right field, kind of on the other side of the fence. I never saw the final number on that. How far that thing traveled? Did y'all ever get number?
They didn't give us a whole lot of
never gave us. He hits one, and then JoJo his first homer, gets his first hit, and then gets his first home run. So guys really making their mark, Megan, and on a weekend when you needed it pretty badly.
Yeah, definitely. I will have to say, sitting on the stage at graduation and just having our group chat just being like JoJo all caps. And I didn't know at that point, like, okay, did someone die or did something really good happen? Especially after just knowing that, like, okay, Brady basically almost did just die on us. That I was just like, I have no idea what's going on, and I really need to be paying attention to graduation. But I'm really upset that I have no clue of what's happening in this game right now.
I get them. Yeah, if you're like me, you got 3 or 4 different ones of those going on, and I'll find my streams behind a little bit, or and I'm like you. I've got the stat broadcast thing up. I get Twitter notifications. At some point, there's just too much, and I have to just close it down and watch the game, so it doesn't ruin the surprise for me. But yeah, big night for him. JoJo goes 2 for 3. The homer drives in 3. Lim drove in 4. Another big day for Eric Hines. I mean, we mentioned these guys hitting our batting averages in the SEC play, and he's right around 300. But a 3-hit day for him, and I made the comment, and I don't remember if it was that day or it was the day before, but what impressed me is developmentally how well he's coming along with the things you got to do, turning around breaking balls or turning around inside pitches when they've got you shifted. The book's out. He's just going to dead pull everything. They put the whole infield over on the left side, and he takes a couple of balls. He stays inside on them and drives them through the holes on the right side. The next day they weren't shifting him as much, and I think that's important. Is just how well he developed, and then drew a clutch walk later in the game where he just fought off a couple, laid off some of those outside sliders that he would just early in the year he's so free swinging, so excited to be up there. I mean he's taking hacks at those things 6 weeks ago. Drew, the development of him so far. I mean, it just and maybe we can maybe a little pride at the coaching staff.
Probably should have played him earlier.
Well, him and others, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. You just mentioned it, the way he's able to get base hits in what should be unfavorable situations. And you put him in against Oklahoma, he starts getting hot, and he did have his reign of maybe a lot of strikeouts bunched together, but he played through it, and now you're not really seeing that quite as much. That's why I kind of wish they had just played him a lot earlier, because then maybe you get rid of some of that. He's still going to strike out here and there, but it really seems like he's had a lot of really good at bats, and he's gotten a lot of It seems like he's gotten a lot of two strike hits
Yes.
on
He
Good
has. Yeah.
approach. Yeah.
1-2 or even 0-2 counts, just hard hits. And so, the only bad thing was it was fun watching him leg out that triple.
Uh,
Only bad thing was that base running blunder, which,
mhm.
maybe his third base coach should have told him to hang at the bag or something like that. But,
Yeah.
it is what it is. He's a
Uh,
freshman. He'll have a few of
he's a
those.
freshman, but boy, he's really producing and future looks bright. Again, I kind of go back to you got two or three other guys I really wish would have been getting those kind of at bats too to be kind of developed for
Oh, yeah.
next year if we were going to have this many guys in the lineup hitting 200, 180 or 200 in the SEC. After Zane, Heiberger comes in, two pretty well locked down innings. Banks goes up a run in the last, but we had a little cushion there that day. So again, the key here, the 3-run homers, pitching goes 6 innings to start, and you don't have to tax the bullpen too much. Mother's Day Sunday gets a little dicey at the end after it felt like we were cruising and enjoying
We
the
were
day.
we were cruising. It was
We were
just cruising along.
just cruising along. We jump on them 3 in the first, we get 2 in the fifth, we get 2 in the sixth. We're up 7-0 middle of the sixth, and we end up holding on for dear life in this game. Key to this one, Megan, what happened?
Honestly, I think we could have ran Miles out for another inning, and I would have liked to see that a little bit more. But it just kind of became the problem we've seen throughout, really, the whole year of just like bad defensive plays at moments where it's like, what are we doing?
That and Ashton Crawford has one of his first bad games in recent memory. It was due one. I mean, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, kind of due one. Maybe there's a little familiarity with some of those guys.
Yeah, 4 unearned runs.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets a ground out. The next guy check swings and dribbles the ball for a single. He hits the next guy in the foot.
Yeah.
And then we have the double play
Tough
to get
luck.
out of the inning, and JoJo throws it to.
JoJo tried to flip it. Yeah.
He throws it to Coach. He throws it to Coach Vaughn, and then then the sack fly, and then I mean the only ball that was hit was the home run, and that's after should have been 4 outs already.
It looked like kind of an option pitch the Wishbone quarterback would throw.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
And he was too far from the bag to be doing
do that from 10 feet, not 30.
I mean, you square up and throw it, is what.
Yeah, get the lead guy at the minimum.
Right.
And that extended that inning.
Or even the guy just get somebody.
Yeah. How clutch has Matt Heiberger been, though, just really saving our ass that day?
Yes. He did.
Coming back today, it's huge to have that flexibility.
Yeah. In conference play now, Heiberger with ERA of 3.74. That's 15 appearances. I mean, he's only thrown 21, 22 innings now, but he's in 15 games and
is that total or just SEC?
That's just in conference play. Yeah, in conference play. So 21 innings and 15 appearances. Banks has been in 11 games. Crowther's been in 9. So they're again, it's a real tight bullpen. It hadn't had to be a whole lot more just because the way the starters are chewing up innings and doing it efficiently. They're not having to go 120 pitches to get you 6 innings. They're getting out on 90, 95. So, but yeah, I think, man, as a fireman this year, and this was a little different role for him. He's normally maybe coming in the 7th with nobody on. Here he's kind of coming in to put out a fire and does pretty well.
Had to win and run at the plate twice.
Yeah.
That just could have gone bad in so many ways.
Yeah. And you lose that game and that whole weekend feels like it a lot, especially if you lose it that way.
Yeah.
The mood here is, as you know, on weekends when we lose games that way, is a whole lot different. But we hold on. 7-6 win, another great outing by Upchurch. Had some ups and downs in this outing, but Drew he fought through them. He kind of when he needed it. 95, 96 was there up in the zone, and you're not touching that with this dude.
Yeah, I think this first 3 innings, if I recall of memory, you were out in like 25 pitches or something, and then
32.
He had the fourth and the fifth where I feel like he got out of those with the bases loaded, but one of those was bases loaded, no outs, where I don't know if he struck out the side, but I know he struck out the last two.
Fly out,
Uh,
strike out.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that was middle there, or maybe Lee Croy
That's
might
the
have been
fifth.
one of those.
That
So they
was
were,
LeCroy struck out to
yeah,
end it.
2, 3,
so
4.
yeah, the announcers were just wish casting Lee Croy to get some hits, and I don't think he
Yeah.
might have just because he's been with the program
He's been,
forever, and you
exactly.
know, I think he probably hit a home run against us when they swept us in 2023 or two. He's been there forever, and so
Yes.
yeah, it was big of him. He just shows a lot of growth. You want him to not have those innings where he's kind of losing control a bit, but another really good performance by him.
Yeah. Admirable in Griffin in that, here we are, week 14. I guess he started 13 games now, right? That really, I mean, only a couple of them have been. I mean, I'll kind of discount this first four of the season because they're not meant to go deep into games. But I mean, in SEC play, I mean, only a couple of these have been kind of ones you put aside and not really want to think about.
Yeah, to have, this be your first kind of, you know, splash into the big end of the pool. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than SEC baseball. It's been, I thought, like you said, outside of those first couple ones, I think he's performed very well throughout the season. So if this is what, somebody would have told me preseason, I would have taken it absolutely. And
Oh, is it? Yeah, yeah.
so,
Mom, Roger, you were sitting with Mom on a friend of the podcast, Shakira Upchurch on Sunday. Where you? How did that?
She was she was her normal self, and you don't really sit with her. You sit
No.
somewhat
Adjacent.
adjacent to her. But yeah, she gets into every pitch. She's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was pleased, and when he got done, she went up and sat in the shade with others, and then she came back down. She said, "What happened?" She said, "Miles was out. It was 7-0, except for 7-1." And
Yeah,
like
life was
I was
good.
just relaxed, and I look up and we're like, "Dang,
Life was good. Yeah.
we're about to lose here."
Yeah.
But no, she was good. Just her normal self, just taking it all in, and calling the pitches, and
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
celebrating the strikeouts. And
Yeah, as we thought, as we kind of fished out of her when we talked about how she watches those games and how I'd love to be a fly on the wall for one of those conversations where she's chopping it up with him post game about kind of analyzing the outing, because it seems very knowledgeable about it. But all the moms were great in those discussions, by the way. So we hold on, we win that one. What was the score? 7-6, I guess. Gets us to 16-11 on the year. Carolina's sitting, I think, at 7 and something, 17, maybe 7-20 now.
7-20, 7-21, something like that.
So let's talk about that real quick. Let's look at the overall in the conference. So Georgia's won the conference, right? Georgia's won, or
they have clinched. Of what, from what I understand, from what they were celebrating clinching it anyway.
Yeah. They're 21-6, and A&M and Texas are they have 10 losses, so that certainly has it clinched, because they didn't play that other game got wiped off for them. A&M and Texas sitting at 16. 16-10. Yeah, my print's not real good here. We're sitting at 16-11 with Auburn, tied for fourth, I guess. Technically, we probably have the tiebreaker going into Hoover in that regard, since we swept that ass. And then you've got Florida. Here are your 15-12s. You got Florida, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and then Ole Miss is sitting at 9, 14, 13. You got Oklahoma and Tennessee that kind of feel like the same team a little bit, right? They feel very similar team, 13 and 14. Kentucky at 12 and 15, then Vandy at 11 and 16. Really missed an opportunity to pile up some wins, although it wasn't going to help in the RPI. They lose 2 out of 3 to Missouri. Although I really think they got rooked on Friday night based on all the analytics of that.
They sure did. Yes.
Yeah. And then LSU at 9 and 18. I mean, it was still hard to believe, and they got swept again this past weekend by Georgia.
If you told me Tennessee and LSU were a potential Tuesday evening first round game in Hoover, I told you to sell your
like
drugs
Wednesday night
elsewhere.
sadness,
Yeah.
at the SEC basketball tournament. And then of course, the broadcast and the Georgia broadcast would seem to be very positive about what they're going to look like next year. Though I don't know if y'all saw much of that, but they were
That who's going to look like LSU?
Georgia. I mean
Oh,
LSU, that they were like all these guys coming back. They were playing all the young guys. I guess. I mean it
I
feels
mean
like they.
their offensive numbers are pretty dang good.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I guess Curell will
Yeah.
be gone. The guy that got hurt, Jake
Yeah.
Brown, will be gone.
Brown. They just didn't pitch well, and I mean, I
They
think
don't
they feel
defend
like
well. They
yeah,
signed a lot of first baseman slash DHs, and
mhm,
they.
it
What I
didn't
was
work out.
texting Mark Etheridge about a lot of stuff, and they just can't. I haven't watched much LSU,
Uh-huh.
but they just can't seem to prevent runs.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And particularly late, right? Because
Mhm.
they blew a lot of early
blowing a lot of
leads.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Carolina, Missouri, both 7 wins, 6 wins. They're obviously kind of where we're used to seeing them. So the season is kind of crystallized. Going into this weekend, some interesting matchups. Let me pull up what we all. Let me pull up what we have picked and preview the weekend, because a lot of this still a lot to be settled this weekend. All right, so you got we're playing Ole Miss. We've all picked us to beat Ole Miss. Arkansas's at Kentucky. A little bit of an interesting matchup to me there, because Arkansas's pitching is seemingly decimated, or Dave Van Horn doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in a lot of guys. He didn't have that going into our weekend, and then they managed to sweep us. Um, you think Kentucky can pitch and just outpitch those guys and eke out a couple of wins there? Nobody picked them. It's at
I
I
Kentucky.
think
regret I regret picking a sweep. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's official, so there's nothing I can do about it now.
Thoughts on
It
those
seems
guys?
like a long stretch, but
Yeah. Okay. Kentucky may be playing for their life. I mean, they're 12 and 15. You got to get to 13. Kind of the thought is you need to get to 13 to get in a regional. So I mean, they need one. They get two. They're a lot better shape. Georgia at Auburn. Intriguing in that Auburn is obviously, and we talked about this a little bit. Auburn's sitting at like 2 in the RPI. We're sitting at what, 6, and everybody's like, we swept Auburn. Well, here's the deal with Auburn. Auburn had 2 midweek games against Georgia Tech, who is probably like 3 in the RPI, sitting way up there. They had a midweek against Cincinnati, although they got their ass kicked. Cincinnati's a top 20-ish RPI team. They had a series early in the season with Nebraska, which probably no one thought of it, but I mean,
Yeah.
Nebraska's a top 20-ish RPI team. So that's what's carrying Auburn. I mean,
And
adding the
Florida
fact they've
State
won.
yeah,
didn't have Florida
They
State too.
they played
Florida
Georgia Tech,
State.
I believe, early in. Yeah,
Yeah, so so Auburn's strength of schedule, I think, maybe number one in the country. So that's going to carry them, and that's why everybody, why is Auburn there? Well, this is the way baseball works. But this weekend at home, and again, they've won 6 or 7 straight series since we swept them. Griff, you and I picked Auburn. We're also
yeah.
leading this thing, by the way. So what you other guys, your rationale on Georgia there? You think Georgia's got to have anything left in the tank or care?
My thought there was that Georgia's the 1 seed. Um, I don't know. I mean, sure they want to win. I don't think that's up for question, but I don't know also if they have the desire to win as badly as they need to, because
Right.
the driver's seat in Hoover, they're not worried about it.
Uh,
I don't like any of that voodoo magic at
yeah.
Toomer's Corner lemonade stand park. So I'll go Auburn.
Yeah, Drew, make your case for Georgia here. What's your
Yeah, I'm gonna just. I think Georgia's a little better. I know
much
if it
better
was,
hitting team?
yeah, and it is. It's not in Foley Field, so the balls aren't gonna be
Mm.
flying out of the. I may have wish casted that. There's
Uh,
my picks are kind of weird, because if all go as planned, that probably has us like fifth or sixth. But
yeah,
I feel like there Auburn and Georgia might be the 2 best teams in the league. So
could be. Yeah,
hopefully, though, I think it's just me wish casting a series loss, and me hoping Auburn has already peaked
uh-huh.
and it's just going to start going downhill.
Yeah. Roger, you think Georgia, again, a 305 hitting teams, hit 58 home runs in SEC play. Florida 30 points higher batting average than anyone else in the league. You think it's what do you think of Georgia as a title contender? I mean, they've won the SEC. I mean, certainly they can win it. You think they're Omaha?
I
They can
think
get to Omaha. You think they can win Omaha? Is this a
I
good
think
enough
they
team?
could. I mean, at times they've had really good pitching too. So
Mm,
they're not going to hit home runs like that in Omaha
yeah,
if they get there.
if they get there.
But
Hmm.
but they can hit. I mean, they've got you know between Jackson and Phelps,
Hmm. That's a basher.
Branch. I mean,
Branch, yeah, just
and
played
they've
a
got some
lot of
other
ball.
dudes. Man, they lost a guy that was hitting 320 with 14 home runs for the
Yeah,
season
yeah,
that nobody's ever heard of. He was a JUCO
Yeah.
kid. I mean,
yeah.
so they got a lot of guys. I mean, and like every time I look up, there's some guy like I didn't know he played there, and it says he's hitting 330 with 10 home
10
runs,
something.
in part-time duty.
Yeah.
Like the big kid from Tulane that everybody wanted, the two-way guy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, he's there and he's barely playing.
Yeah.
And I saw him come up to the plate the other day, and he looked like he weighed 350 pounds.
It's a big dude. Yeah.
Not yeah, but he got hurt
Uh,
and couldn't work out and gained a bunch of weight,
yeah. Yeah.
but he's still mashing. And then the Japanese guys two way. I mean,
He's two-way. Yep.
they got dudes.
They
I
got a lot of
mean,
dudes. Yeah. Yeah. State at A&M, important here in that State can still make up a little ground. They're sitting in where did I go? State's a game behind us. I mean, State may be in a position. I guess they could get in the top four if enough things happen. Probably, if they swept this one,
yeah,
for one thing. That going to happen at A&M. We State's been kind of hot and cold. They're a lot like us. They're either sweep or get swept. Megan, you think of much of that? You've got State winning this one on the road.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are coming off of losses this past weekend. Honestly, I think they're very evenly matched teams.
Yeah, both wear
So
maroon. Mhm.
yeah, also that both Cal colleges. I think all that comes into play. Honestly, this one was kind of a toss-up for me,
Mhm.
as far as which way it could go. And I still kind of think that, I went
Yeah,
with State, but if A&M ends up coming out winning too, I wouldn't be shocked either way. I think both games will be very, very tight.
yeah. Drew, you've got State too. Kind of feel that way, and
Yeah.
if we're going
When
on
they
inside
announced
intel.
that
Uh-huh.
A&M was going to miss one of their top pitchers, I just figured, well, let's go State. It seems like A&M's kind of beat up a little bit, so
Yeah.
maybe they're ripe for a 2 to
Mhm.
1 State series win. Basically, I think no matter what, I think as long as we win 2-0, 2-1, and there's really no other sweeps, then
Yeah.
we'll be a top 4 team.
Take care of our
So
business. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll skip Carolina, Vandy, and Missouri, Texas. Florida, LSU. I think it's at LSU. Drew, you've got LSU in this one too.
I do.
You're the only naysayer there. Do you got LSU in this one?
Oh,
You do.
let me go back
I
and
double checked this week.
oh, yeah, that's right. I think that was probably a
Just contrarian.
Florida just kind of does weird things this whole
They
year.
do.
I mean, we
Yeah.
should not have swept them. They shouldn't have lost at home a series at home to Ole
Mhm.
Miss. They shouldn't have lost. They probably shouldn't have won a series at Georgia. So
Uh,
that's just kind of that. Yeah, now that I remember, that's exactly where I was going with that. This just
yeah.
kind of it's typical Florida this year to probably just blow a series at LSU.
At LSU. Yeah. And then Tennessee at OU at Oklahoma. I think they're actually playing that one at in Oklahoma City. I
yeah,
think
yeah. I don't know
kind
what's
of
up
weird.
with that.
Yeah. It's
Oh, they're trying
maybe
to get more people there.
just to draw a
It's
bigger crowd because I mean you
yeah.
saw the crowds they're drawing at home. Little split decision here, but Roger, you've got OU here. These teams are sitting 13, 14 in the standings. Probably not host material. I mean, somebody could sweep here and get on a little run in Hoover and maybe get there, but I don't think you see a sweep here this in play. But you like OU here?
I, well, I just don't. I don't like Tennessee, and I don't like Auburn. So I
You
pick.
hate
I
that
pick.
orange. Yeah.
I pick. I pick against them.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
But no, Oklahoma. I mean, I've seen them play in person.
Mhm.
They have some arms. They can hit. Now, I didn't allow for they're not playing at home. As
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
as the
A little
the
different.
field. But if hopefully it's a grass and dirt field because both of them play on turf.
Oh yeah, it's a minor league field, so it'd have to
Why do we
be
have-
Playing
Yeah.
at
grass.
Bricktown.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, spinning it forward, I would be surprised if either one. I mean, I think Tennessee should be in, barring something absolutely
Yeah.
crazy where they just implode and there's bid stealers left and right. But I think that I would both. I think they're both solid 2 seeds. I would. I don't think I would expect them to jump up to the 1 line anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the weekend coming up. Alabama, Ole Miss. We're going Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 6, 6, and 2. Everybody's got Alabama. I assume that nobody's got a sweep here. So all picking 2 of 3. At 2 of 3, that puts us 18 and
12.
18 and 12 in the
12.
SEC.
Mhm.
When's somebody remember the superlatives around when the last time we won 18 games?
I do know this. I was going to say we've won 16 games already. Obviously, I think
Yes.
we'll have more. First time since 2008 and 9 that we've won 16 games 2 years in a row in the SEC.
Okay.
And if we get to 19, it'll be the most since the 2016 went 20 and 10.
Okay. Yeah.
So
2009, I think, is the last time we won 18. Maybe I don't know. It's been-
2008 and 9,
Yeah.
we were 16, and then and we won, I think, 18 that year.
Yeah.
So
When did we go 20 and 10? When?
06.
2016,
06. Yeah. 2006.
which they will be honored this weekend.
Under
And
this,
there's-
yeah, 20 year anniversary of that team. So would be the most. So I guess 18 or 19 would be the most since 2006, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if
yes.
Yeah. Right. Season shaped up pretty well. I mean, I think we early in the year when we kind of do that over under on usually 15 and a half.
We all said 16 and 14, if I'm
Yeah.
not
We were all
mistaken.
15, 16. Yeah. So I think
I think I went under. I was probably the naysayer.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure you probably were.
But especially if you
Hater.
ask me after the Kentucky game.
Bama hater.
Yeah, that's right. Talking about this season, so a few more recaps on the season, and then we'll get a couple of questions. Game of the year. Everybody, give me your favorite game of the year, or the biggest game of the year, favorite game of the year. I mean, there's probably one here that stands out.
No hitter.
In the no hitter.
For a lot of reasons. I mean, broke a 4-game losing streak, kept us from going 0-4 in the SEC to start, and none of us has ever seen it.
No, yeah. Not unless you're around for Eddie Okar, right?
Yeah, and I'm by far the oldest one here, and I was not even a thought then. So
that one probably gets an asterisk and just stands out. Give me the next biggest game or your other game.
I'll go the Sunday Florida game. That was a really fun game because I was actually at that game. I was watching the no hitter on my iPad while I think we had a basketball game that night. So I was very much felt like I was there, but I was actually there for that. And it's like, there's they're throwing out, we're down 4-0, Plattner and LeBron hit homers, and then they throw at LeBron. It's 5-4, and Brady hits I just saw a highlight of that again today. It's a 98.5-mile-an-hour fastball over for a grand slam, and we ended up winning that 14-8. So sweeping Florida, getting the season back on track. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Others, folks?
Sweeping Auburn is always
I was gonna say one of those.
I would say run real at Auburn's up there. The comeback against Vandy, that first game was important, and then I was obviously there in Frisco, but winning that game against Oregon State, having just looked incredibly flat against Southern Miss, I thought, who knows how it shakes out after that, but we get the win, and Peyton Steele runs down that guy from right field, and that was electric. So yeah, those are all up there for me.
Megan, you got one?
Honestly, I'm struggling to remember games. It often becomes a blur, but I think
academic fog.
To that point, just the number of sweeps we've had, like overall, this year has just been really nice to see, and not something I think we can take for granted.
Megan, you're gonna have to go with Friday and Sunday this past week.
Because you really
honestly getting to see the team, because it's been hard not getting to actually make it Tuscaloosa this year.
I'm gonna go highbrow here, a little highbrow, maybe off the resume. Game 3 at Texas.
Yeah.
Huge win. Yeah.
Salvaging that game, salvaging that series.
The way we did, yeah.
Exactly. And tightly pitched game, just you weren't getting much of anything from the offense. That's a good offense you're facing. and just to throttle them like that, and to hold on in that game and win it. I don't even remember the score. Was it 2-1? I think a
2-1.
2-1 game.
Mm-hmm.
2-1 for two. That one to me. How about the one that got away? What biggest regret of a game this year?
Maybe
It would have been
Arkansas.
that one. It would have been the one Sunday if that had gone away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
somebody said mine. I think I just heard.
Arkansas game 1.
Yeah, the one
Because we were up 3-1 in that one. We were up on all 3 of those, I
we were up
think.
3-1, and the next thing you know, 7-3.
We were up in
Yeah.
the 7th in all of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Games, yeah, all those games we just had blunders. And if I
Mhm.
didn't say those, I'll let somebody else. But I've got another
Yeah.
one. But I'll go Arkansas game 1.
Arkansas game 1. Griff, you got one that just bothers you, or it still kind of hangs with you?
I mean, I shouldn't have expected anything differently, but I'm greedy. I would always love to have that sweep at Oklahoma, but I mean,
Yeah.
the Bats just weren't gonna turn it around there. I mean, looking all the way back, I mean that first Zane Adams start against Kentucky. I mean,
Mhm.
it was a 1-run game, and like you said,
Yeah.
we're 10-2, and you know, those are both now heads. I mean, knowing what Kentucky looks like, it's like, well, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger, well, you've been in all these, and what's one that kind of got away? You feel like is a
not one that got away, but
Mhm.
disappointing.
Uh-huh.
Southern Miss and South Alabama. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
just the way they went, and that at home. Just any of those close. I mean, and we really shouldn't complain about if we lost a one-run game, since we're would you
Yeah.
say 10-2, and I
And
mean,
two. Yep.
because we're that away from
Mhm.
having a record flipped around.
Yeah.
But the Arkansas game, that
Yeah.
was big to lose that lead,
Uh-huh.
and then where was it? We gave up 7 in the 7th or 8th few games ago.
Tennessee game 3,
Tennessee.
maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah,
mention that
one.
one.
I would say that one because I really felt like we had a shot at that one.
Mhm.
Going late. So,
Mhm. Right.
I
but
think
they run together after
yeah,
they did.
all
Arkansas
these
for
games
me.
and miles.
Arkansas that whole weekend just
I
to
was
me
so
was,
hyped for that series,
yeah.
and then it was just so disappointing. So
Mhm.
I am not really allowing myself to get hyped. I'm really excited to go and watch the team play, but as far as it was like, man, I was thinking about that series all week, and then we just lost all 3 of those games the way we did, just kind of giving them away. It seemed like.
Well, and it seems like every time we start riding a high,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
something gives us a
Mhm.
low, and then every time
Exactly.
when we're down in the depth,
Mhm.
like,
We
God, this
pick
is
ourselves off
awful.
the map.
Are we gonna win another game? We pull out a Sunday game and then go on a tear.
Going to heater. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So I was telling Paul before you guys logged on, this weekend to me, it's like a super regional. If we're a 7 seed and Ole Miss is a 10, we
Mhm.
win the series, we are a national seed, I
Yeah.
believe. And if we lose the series, maybe probably host. I mean, we lose 2-1, we're hosting a
Mhm.
regional for sure. We lose 3-0 and then lose the first one in Hoover, we're probably sweating again, even with
We're
16
sweating on
wins.
Monday.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to be it's a super regional in a sense that if we are the 7 seed, the 10 seed would be a team like Ole Miss, probably talent wise.
Exactly. Yeah. Somebody you're much better paired up with than say
Yeah,
that
someone that
61 situation in
yeah,
2023. That I don't want to bring
hopefully.
up bad memories. Megan, changing categories. Give me one we stole, one we won that we shouldn't have won. Somehow we won it. One that
Well,
sticks with you.
I mean, I guess to that extent, it would have to be that Sunday Texas game, that 2-1
Yeah.
game where it's like, I don't know if we should have come out ahead on that one, but somehow we
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, to that point, the fact we are 10-2 and one-run games, the fact that we've stolen a lot,
It's
maybe
still
at
a
that
lot.
point, or
Yeah.
at least been able to hold on for dear life towards that end.
Yeah. Roger, you got one?
uh, Texas won, Oklahoma where we scored 3 in the first and never got
Nothing. Did
barely
nothing.
had a base runner the rest of the way. Um, there's a few of those. Hell, Jack State scoring late and then Brady hits the bomb.
The Brady
And,
home run, that was going to be mine, is the Brady home
yeah,
run at Jack State, where we
yeah.
won that one. I think he hit that in the ninth or in the eighth, and
It was
we
2
got that
outs
win.
top of the ninth
2 in the ninth. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
when
Yeah.
Chandler Fullman was saying awful things about Eli Gold on his Twitter account the other night. It spurred me to go find that home run because I thought Eli sounded On memory, I thought he sounded real dead on that home run call, but he didn't. It was a fine
Nice.
call.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
You got one that got away or one we stole? I mean,
Well, so what I think, you say that, and then the Vanderbilt game, you could say we stole, but we really earned our way back with those. We hit home runs to get back in and win. I think what Roger said that Oklahoma game 3. I mean, we get the bases loaded, no outs, and then basically it's like, didn't we strike out the next two guys,
yeah.
and then the next two runs scored on wild pitches? No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't strike. Well, two guys struck out, but we got the wild pitches and a sac fly, and
We scored
or
2
some
runs on wild pitches and on the second.
yeah, and we didn't get anything. And I know Brady turned a 9-3 double play in that game, if I remember right. But
Yeah.
that was a game where it's just like there's no way we're going to just score 3 runs in the first inning and hold on to win this. But that's what
Yeah.
we did.
Griff, you got one we we stole. Maybe that when you were talking about that Oregon State game, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Oregon State game, I feel like we stole. Looking at where we are now, it's that Florida Sunday game, uncharacteristic for us to put up 6 or 7 in that inning and just
Right.
come out and just hammer away towards the back half.
Church did not get out of the first inning that game.
No, he did not.
It was a bullpen game. It's like, and we
so
still
unsurprising stole. I mean, we definitely earned that win. We came out back half. We were just hammering it, but yeah, looking now, that's surprising. So
all right, individual awards here. Who's your MVP of this team? We're gonna do a Cy Young too. So just give me an MVP non-pitcher.
Brady Neal.
You still go Brady Neal. Anybody different there? Anybody got?
I don't. Bryce has been really good.
Yeah, I was going to say Bryce would probably.
He was going to be my runner-up.
But Brady's doing it at 2 positions, and he's thrown guys out from right field and from catcher.
He robbed a home run.
Robbed a home run. Had some game-winning hits. He's tailed off a little bit, and hopefully he's going to be healthy this weekend and be able to help us out.
All right,
but. Yeah, I mean,
it's one of those things. It's Brady. I think Brady wins it, and maybe Bryce comes in. It's like the Heisman voting, and maybe Bryce wins the Western sports writers, and Brady wins the whatever. Cy Young, on a pitching side, we're talking about 6 guys here, right?
T-Fay.
You go T-Fay. All right. I'm seeing some nods.
He set the table for the whole weekend, and when he's pitched well, everything else just seems to fall into place.
Megan, thoughts on T-Fay's year?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree to that point of like he set that weekend. He's come out for the most part. He's done his job. I mean, we've talked about Road Faye and some adventures we've gotten on Friday nights, but he also had a no-hitter, that.
Exactly.
But, we can't ignore that and the power that says. I also think go ahead, Roger.
Got finished.
I was gonna say we got to give credit to Maddie too. As much as T-Fay has kind of set the weekend, Maddie has gone above and beyond to make sure that we are sitting at 16 wins with a whole weekend left to play right now.
Crowther has to be thrown in there too.
Yeah,
he's been a godsend, but Zane might be the most consistent.
I think you're.
He's almost done exactly the same thing every week. With some higher ups, but never a really bad down. And Tyler's been really, really good, and he had a stinker or two, but Zane's been maybe more consistent. But I still say Tyler just for that.
Tyler's had the most upside, but a little bit downside in a couple of ways. But in Zane is like Tyler can give you 7 innings, 10 strikeouts like other night, but then he can give you 6 and give up a bunch of bombs. And Zane's been 6 and very steady, right? Drew, your thoughts?
I'm looking at the stats right now, and man, it's like if one person's leading the category, someone else is leading something else. I really think Zane showed a lot of promise as a freshman later in the year, and then last year, ups and downs. I really think we had to have a dominant Zane Adams this year, and that's what we've gotten. So I'm almost leaning him, even, it's like, I know his batting average allowed is 261 and that's not nearly as I mean, Faye is like 221 and Miles is 197, and Miles has got the better ERA. All these guys are leading in some
In
category, so
something.
it's tough. But we absolutely had to have a really good year out of Zane Adams, and we've gotten it. So,
Yeah.
not to say we didn't need it out of the others, but I kind of thought Zane was that guy. He came back to get himself in a good draft spot, and it's hard to go against that. That's kind of stating my case for him, I think. But man, they've all three been really good.
Yeah. And again, we go back, SEC ERA 4.47 with his staff. And you go back in these previous years, 682, 462 in a very good year, and 550. So, I mean, again, that's the heartbeat of your team right there. Freshmen, newcomers of the year, there's
Miles and Eric.
Yeah, you got Miles and Eric. If you had to pick one, who would it be?
Miles, because he's the whole season.
Everybody nodding in agreement.
I'm the same way. And
Yep.
newcomer, my vote for newcomer. If you're looking at just like a non-freshman newcomer, is that what we want to limit it to? I guess.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. No, pick up.
I'd go Crowther just because I'm going to say non-freshman on my end, but Crowther, I'm looking at overall stats. 2.2, 186 ERA. He's really only had like maybe two rough games.
Bad outings. Yeah.
At Tennessee and even South Carolina. Those were unearned runs. He got hit a little bit, but that wasn't his fault. But man, a guy throwing 88, 89, doing that, being a godsend for us out of the pen. So man, it's not having it. We don't have him.
Where
I don't
would
know
you be
where we
without
are.
him? Right.
Yeah.
Position wise, it's Johnny.
Yeah.
For sure.
As newcomer. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Coach of the year. If you had to rank, this is an easy one, I think.
JJ.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to those numbers and what this pitching staff has done. He may be the Frank Broyles award a winner or whatever you call
I've been thinking to ask anybody if they knew what the equivalent of the Frank Broyles award was for college baseball, and that JJ would. And heck, I mean, for us to be 16-11 and possibly 19-11.
Yeah.
Hell, Rob ought to be SEC Coach of the Year.
Coach of the year,
Yeah, we were picked 12th in the league.
14th, weren't we?
Was it 14th? I thought it was
Maybe I may be wrong, but
I know Georgia. Someone showed a poll that Georgia was picked 9th. So I mean, I know they've got a lot more NIL money to spend, but I mean, throwing together like 36 new guys and winning the league before the end of the last weekend's pretty impressive. So
Rob's gonna get some votes, and he's gonna deserve them.
They actually don't have that much money somehow.
Georgia,
yeah. According to my sources,
I guess they all give them full scholarships or something like that.
Well, they do. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are doing that now, but they promise them you'll hit 20 bombs, particularly if you're left-handed. When we have a 300-foot right fence, and that's what we do is swing for the fences.
Great hitters.
So that's part of it. So come here, hit 25 home runs, and get drafted high.
Yeah,
you get attention. Yeah.
February 5th, the coaches had us at 12th. So
at 12th, okay. 12th, and we upside here, we might be 4th, maybe 3rd, right?
Yeah,
we could lose 3 here and end up 9th or 10th, but let's hope not. All right, a couple questions from viewers or listeners. Tyler Wilcox at Johnny MySpace, friend of the podcast, two-time guest on the podcast, and was with our crew last week. How do we convince Vaughn and Bianco to set up a Saturday night post-series home run derby with Hines, Lim, Becerra, and Uttermark with some old gorilla ball bats?
That'd be awesome.
Kind of remind you of the Chandler. Remember the Chandler Taylor home run derby with the dude from where was that guy from?
Northern Kentucky.
Murray State, or
where was that guy from? I don't even remember who it was. He may be in the majors now.
He came to my tailgate. I got a picture of me and Chandler and Nico something.
We have to look him up.
But I don't think he made it. He did play a little pro ball, but
what would Hines do in a home run derby at the Joe on a hot day, like get it into June or July when it's hot and the ball's really flying, and the clown bats from the the 90s.
Wow. He'd hit one to Hugh over there at the law school.
Yeah.
Nico Holzer of Moorhead State.
Moorhead State. Yes.
What was his name again?
Nico Holzer,
Hulzer.
Yeah,
those guys put on a show at the the parking. I don't know what they called it back then. I
TD
think it
Ameritrade is, or
used
is
to
it
be
Rosen?
TD American Trade. Now it's Schwab,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
They
yeah. Oh,
actually
that's
they
right.
actually tied, but Nico got it on some kind of tiebreaker.
Some technicality. Yeah. Yeah.
Chandler was
Coach
breaking the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Coach Mo's burner, not a question, but just hope this team can block out all the host and national seed talk and just go focus on winning a game at a time this weekend. We're spending an hour and a half here tonight talking about regionals and hosting, that sort of thing. Mentality of this team, is it such that they can, you're are we on a 6-game winning streak conference play, or 7, maybe 7? I think it's 6 actually, because I guess Tennessee we lost the last game. Is this team's mentality such they can block out the noise and go do what they got to do this weekend? We all picked them.
We know that they're active listeners to the Weekly Joe, but so like
and their
I don't know,
parents.
they've listened for too long for me to tell them to turn it off now. But I think to this point, the kind of bit of roller coaster we've had like the whole season, I think does kind of show, like, I don't think outside noise is going to affect really that final outcome of what happens.
Right.
I do think it's a matter of we got to get one. We got to get one. Feel very secure. I think we get 2, which is what we all predicted. We should be sitting really well.
Yeah, everybody agree.
If there's a game we would have dropped it, probably would have been that Sunday game. I don't see them just coming out laying an egg. Not after.
Yeah.
They get that Friday one like usual.
Yeah.
And then everything else is gravy.
Against 32-year-old Hunter Elliott on Friday, right?
Yeah. The guy who was pitching game 2 struck out like 14 against Texas A&M or something like that. Whoever they played last week.
Yeah, he's really their ace. Jimmy Lawler at CRM. I don't know what this is. It's a lot of letters.
Bunch of letters.
Bunch of letters. Jimmy Lawler, that's what he goes. Will 2 of 3 this weekend secure a top 8? I think we've established it will. Will 1 of 3 secure a top 8?
It should.
It should.
You think 1 of 3? So 1 of 3.
Probably
17 SEC wins.
17 and 13. Yeah.
7, 8, 9 in RPI. I mean, you think so? You still think? I guess a lot of it has to do with who's around you and who's beating each other. I don't know who these ACC teams play this weekend. For us, it seems like the Florida States and the Carolinas and maybe the Floridas that are up and coming. Maybe we do need LSU to knock Florida around a little bit this weekend. Make sure they don't sneak in there. But definitely 2 or 3. You think 1 of 3 we still get it?
Unless the committee wants to go.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical with 1.
Yeah, let's see how we do in Hoover to get a top 8. Because if you think about it, and I know these committees aren't voting poll members.
Right.
If we win 1 of 3, we're probably not gonna jump up any higher than we are. We'll be like ranked 18th to 20th or something. Yeah. So, I think if we win 1 out of 3, better win a couple in Hoover. But let's win 2 or 3. Hopefully, get that one Friday, and then basically you got 2 chances to win the series.
Yeah, Megan, you had thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't feel like 1 gets it. I think 2 locks in that national seed. I think to the point, like, we can't go lay an egg in Hoover, but I don't think Hoover is going to matter at this point. I think the last couple of years have really kind of shown of like. There's not a lot there's a lot to potentially be lost, but there's not really a lot to be won in the conference tournaments these days. So it's really a matter, I think, if we got to get 2 this weekend if we're wanting to have that national seed.
The key would be 2 if you can get top 4 in the conference and get that double bye, then you're going. Does tournament start Tuesday or
Tuesday? We'd go straight to Thursday.
You go Thursday. And so, but if you went Wednesday or you went Tuesday, you're throwing. Who knows who you're throwing because you're coming off a weekend. I mean, we threw Faye in that early game last year, and he shoved, but it was Missouri. But if you get that double bye, you're getting Faye on kind of normal conventional rest on Thursday, right? I mean, you can. And whoever you're playing,
Thursday, we win Thursday, and we would get another day off, and we wouldn't play till Saturday, Sunday. That could be huge. I mean, if we have to.
And at that point, you're probably playing one of these teams that's high RPI, and you're not
right. It's not going to hurt you. The one project, like if it ended today, kind of thing, had we would play the winner of Auburn Tennessee, whoever
Tennessee.
And
Auburn,
whoever
Tennessee.
was before that.
It'd be
Um,
I've got it pulled up. It's Vandy, Kentucky. They would play Auburn, and then we would play the winner of that Auburn,
Okay.
let's say Kentucky game.
For those deals. Yeah.
And then if
Okay.
we win that, then we would play Saturday against probably Georgia, unless
Yeah.
Arkansas
And
goes.
again, so much of it just hinges on how you pitching staff. So, because again, I mean, these teams going on Tuesday and Wednesday are going on short rest from the weekend before, and it just our buddy Will Grown update on LeBron and Brady Neal. Are they ready for this week? Have we heard anything on that?
I would think just my feelings without any knowledge.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better about LeBron playing. Brady, I think, is maybe was further behind, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to see them both. Definitely wouldn't be surprised to see just Justin.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got at least one of them.
Okay.
And that doesn't
surprised
necessarily mean for all three games either. If Brady needed one more day, maybe we see him Friday. But
I'd be real surprised if we saw Brady catch this weekend.
That's yeah, I kind of feel that way too. So it kind of makes it interesting. What do we do then?
When do they put out the reports?
The
availability. I thought they'd be out by tonight, but I'm not seeing them.
Usually Wednesday nights. Yeah, it'd be interesting because Peyton's really started hitting the ball. So do you go Johnny catch, Brady DH, just keep him out of the field?
And just keep him out, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you put Brady at second base? I mean, yeah, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Now, I would think, more DH in that
I
situation.
I don't think you see Brady behind the plate or in the field at all this week. I expect if you see him, as DH, and again, not knowing anything, just knowing
right, which would be a good spot for him. I mean, he'd be able to relax and just swing the bat, and maybe get back on a roll like he has been, has been through most of the season.
Yeah, have not seen injury reports, and then also have not. Rob maybe hadn't done like the interview. Maybe he does like the interview with Gary or somebody on the.
He does on
100.9.
Friday. He still does those on Friday, but
on Friday. I wonder if he did it tomorrow, maybe, or something. Just So anyway, just hadn't heard anything real official on that. So maybe something will pop up overnight or in the morning. That's all our listener question. Ole Miss. Again, we talked about it. 14-13 in the league. A lot to play for. Solid pitching staff. Hits a lot of homers and strikes out maybe a high rate.
Feel really good playing at home this weekend. We've been very protective, and we've played well at home all season, and I would like to obviously see that continue, even though, like we've all said, we're gonna be in. We're definitely gonna probably host, but I don't feel like we've got this weekend may not be may not shake up anything much past that, but I like our chances definitely being home.
I feel the same way. I ain't covered it all, folks. A lot of fun tonight. Looking forward to a big weekend of baseball again tomorrow night at 6. It's Friday night at 6, and then at 2 on Saturday, honoring and recognizing the 1996 and 2006 teams this weekend. So get out and see those guys. Right field is going to be open to the general public. Go out and hang out with the Ragers, or come sit with us, whatever you want to do. It's a great night. Hopefully we pack the Joe. Hopefully we have good crowds, and hopefully we have a good result, and get ready to finish up the season on a strong note. Head to the SEC tournament and be back in 2 weeks hosting a regional. Final thoughts from anybody?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Take your visit.
Let's get our 5th sweep and 6th conference series win of the year. Exactly. I don't know when we've done that.
It's an unusual season, and certainly we could finish it up in an unusual way here if we do that again. Again, for the Weekly Joe podcast, I'm Paul Graham, Drew Champlin, Roger Myers, Meghan Dennis, Griffin Smith. Thank you all for being with us. We will see you again next week as we preview the SEC tournament, and hopefully are crowing a little bit about this past weekend and getting ready for postseason and regionals and whatnot. Our good friend Peter Slight and Campland take us away here with our theme song. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Weekly Joe.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Well, it's Bama Blitz.